maybe Mike Jones can help me understand what's going on with Lamar Jackson, because I expected a bigger party than this, Mike. I thought teams would be lined up to make their offer, make their pitch to Lamar. And if you believe the reports from some of your colleagues, it's not happening. Please tell me why.
Something don't smell right, does it? It just doesn't smell right. And that's why there are a lot of people who feel like the reason why we're not seeing the phones light up for Lamar Jackson is because these owners were really upset when Cleveland gave Deshaun Watson that fully guaranteed deal. We know Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, spoke out against it. And so there's a lot of people who feel like these owners got together and said, hey, let's not do that again. Everybody, let's make a pact that we're not giving out fully guaranteed deals to any quarterbacks, because it's going to be bad for business if we got to give every single one of these fools fully guaranteed deals, and the number's just going to keep going up and up. And that is why there are not people beating down the door, because they know that Lamar Jackson has said, hey, I want a fully guaranteed deal like Deshaun Watson, and I'm not playing for less than that. And so because they're all in cahoots with each other, that's why you're not seeing these owners go after him. Now they need him. You listed off teams that definitely could use him, but there's one thing that these owners care about more than anything, and it's control and their money. And they don't want to bend the knee to this, 20-something-year-old kid who's being his own agent and is being a shrewd businessman. They're not going to bend because they don't want to be the next guy.
Well, let's see. Okay, this is like, I don't know if this is the journalist in me or if this is just, growing up around folks who used to say, how you know that? How you know about my business if you haven't talked to me? I used to hear that all the time. How you know about my business if you haven't talked to me? So Lamar Jackson, let's get this straight here, Mike. Tell me where I'm wrong. Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent.
Right.
Okay? He doesn't have an agent.
Right.
And he is open. You're allowed to talk to him right now. You can do some tampering. Right. It's not even tampering. You can just call up Lamar Jackson. So for these teams, say, well, we don't want to talk to a guy who wants a fully guaranteed contract. How do you know that he wants a fully guaranteed contract if you haven't talked to him? So you go by media reports? You go by, or are you talking to the Baltimore Ravens and you're going to the Ravens saying, hey, before we talk to your guy, because he's your guy, because we're not trying to cause any damage for you. Before we talk to your guy, what is he saying? What is he saying in these negotiations? I mean, really, honestly, they shouldn't know what he wants without a conversation. This is a rare situation where you're not talking about Drew Rosenhaus. You're not talking about Tom Condon, like whoever is like the big time agents now. This is just Lamar. It's you and Lamar Jackson, which a lot of owners and general managers say they want. They always complain about the agents when things don't go their way. Right now, they've got an open highway to Lamar Jackson, and they're not taking advantage of it. It's not only an example to me of collusion. There's no question in my mind. It's that.
Right.
But it's just such a bad business. I guess I've been naive in making the false assumption that just because somebody's in the NFL and they give lip service to winning a championship and doing the best for their team, that they actually do it. And teams don't actually want to do what's best for their team.
No, they definitely don't, because again, it's about control. They want to be able to maintain control. They don't want to be strong-armed into anything. And yes, it would make sense, because you know how many times that there are teams that just kick the tires and do their homework on somebody? But for these guys to just, all of these teams putting out through various channels, not interested. That's because they did their homework. They called up Baltimore and said, hey, what is he saying? What's he like? What's the, what's the demands? And they've got their wink nod agreement. Hey, we're not meeting that. And, again, if you're really about winning, You would do everything it takes and go after what, but should we be surprised? This league, they won't even hire black coaches, because they don't fit their mold. It took a long enough time for them to give black quarterbacks a chance, So you think they're gonna, have some, young quarterback who's ambitious enough to be his own agent, dictate to them? Nah, they're not going there.
Hey, if I'm Lamar, it's just I'm amused / offended by the Commanders. We always talk about the Commanders, Mike. We always talk, every time you're on, we're talking about the Commanders. It's just such a bad franchise. I'd be mad that they even brought my name up in a negative way. You're the most negative franchise, not only in the NFL, maybe in all of sports. And that's not an exaggeration. You're so negative. How dare you say you are not interested in me? You're the Washington Commanders. You need everything. How dare you say me? I'm an MVP. I represent everything that you're not. I represent hard work and integrity and dynamism. And you're the opposite. You should be begging me to come down the road and talk to you for even 20 minutes. So really, if you're a Commanders fan or a Panthers fan, how dare these teams say they're not interested in a top 10 quarterback in football? What? I would just have a hard time. I'd have a hard time just rooting for teams like this.
Yeah, and the problem with the Commanders is they have such a mess on their hands with this ownership thing, and Dan Snyder, trying to sell the team. But I mean, this guy isn't going to authorize them to give up a bunch of picks and devote a ton of, guaranteed money when he might not even be there as the owner of the team. And so that's why they aren't able to do something like that. It would be fantastic for that franchise. They have been in the shadow of the Ravens for how long now? This would be finally them being able to win back some of the fans who went further up the Beltway to Baltimore because they're so disgusted. But because you have a bad ownership situation, he's either going to have to sell the team or be forced to sell the team. The team president, general manager, head coach, their hands are kind of tied right now.
Tell me about the other big quarterback news happening in the NFL. I keep checking my phone, checking all the reports every minute to see if there's been any movement on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. I'm guessing you expect this to happen. It's inevitable. But what do you think about the match of Rodgers and the Jets?
Okay, it would match because they have his good buddy Nathaniel Hackett, who was there. But here's the thing that I wonder. Okay, the Packers, if Aaron Rodgers has truly decided he, is going to play again, the Packers have decided that they are done with him. If you're Rodgers, though, why do you want to go from the NFC where there really is no stone cold powerhouse and go to the AFC where you got to beat Josh Allen, then you got to get out of your division, you got to beat Justin Herbert, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes, you got all this. The road is so much harder. But if the Packers have said, hey man, we're ready to start over, that is this place that makes a lot of sense for Rodgers, just because of the fact that they've got young talent on offense and defense, and they have an offensive coordinator who basically is going to let him run whatever he wants in Nathaniel Hackett. So we'll see what happens here. I still would not be surprised if Rodgers winds up staying in Green Bay, but they are at least letting the Jets talk to him and give their sell job to decide.
I like that. Stay right there. Stay right there, though. Why? Why wouldn't you be surprised if Rodgers returns to Green Bay?
Because he loves drama. And this is really the drama that he's getting.
That's right.
But he also loves comfort. And he loves being a part of that Green Bay history and being a Packer for life. And so then he's got what he wants as far as all this. What's he going to do? He's got the flirtation with them flying out to see him and give him the sell job. And then so he got his ego stroked. And then he says, sorry, Jordan Love. This is still my team. I'm coming back for another year.
Mike, you're so right. I said this before. with Aaron Rodgers. Said a few weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers loves the attention. He loves the attention. Do I think, okay, let's go back. Do I think that he really wanted to be the host of Jeopardy? No, I don't. I think he liked the attention of, hey, a football player, somebody replacing Alex Trebek is going to be me. No. No, it's not. You like the attention. There was a story, it was a great story, and I wish I could remember his name, ESPN writer, ESPN.com, Keith Valkenburg, maybe? I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. Sorry. But did a feature story on Aaron Rodgers, and he talked about Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show and how he had this book. He had the Ayn Rand book behind him and Atlas Shrugged. And he's never read it. But he likes the provocative. Like, people look at it, oh, he's got that title behind him. Is he pro message of this book? Is he okay? Where does he stand politically? All this stuff. He's kind of like, he likes the drama. He likes the attention. So that's just really in line with what he likes to do. And maybe you're absolutely right. And here's the other thing, Mike. We talked about general managers and owners who don't necessarily want what's best for them or don't want to be held accountable. Aaron Rodgers is running the Green Bay Packers right now. Yeah. And if he goes to another team, they're not necessarily going to let him run them the way he's run the Packers. Maybe he doesn't want that.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, okay? You think, okay, they're going to roll out the red carpet for me. They've got my buddy there as the offensive coordinator and everything. But, I mean, it's still way different. You're still starting all the way over in a whole new city. And, man, if he gets annoyed at the Packers media, what's he going to do when he gets to New York? With that media, market. I mean, so, man, I'm not so sure that he doesn't go back to Green Bay. And also, I wouldn't even be surprised if he winds up retiring. Nothing would surprise me with this guy. I think I'd be more surprised if he's, I think that he likes all the buzz. And so you think, okay, what's the craziest thing that he could do is drum up all this interest just to go back to Green Bay, drum up all this interest, retire. I don't know. I listened to that podcast where he talked about spending a whole day meditating and visualizing retirement life and then spending all day meditating and visualizing playing life, What's it going to be? I don't know. Just hurry up and wake me up.
Come on, bro.
Tell me when it's
bro, stop. Stop. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've spent like a long time, visualizing, what would it be like, if I just can sit around all day, I don't have to go to work. It's great. And I don't have Aaron Rodgers money. Close.
Right.
I'm close.
Right.
I don't have Aaron Rodgers money.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Mike, listen. He's guaranteed how much money in 2023? He's guaranteed. Yeah. It's guaranteed. There's no way. He's not going to retire. Yeah. It's either going to be Green Bay or New York. And you're right. We should start thinking about the possibility of Aaron Rodgers saying something like this. He'll say something like this. I really thought about it. I was tempted. New York is great, but my heart's here. I want to spend my entire career with one organization. I'm a Packer. Right. This is where I belong. I'm a Packer. Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Because does he really want to do what Brett Favre did? Does he want to go from the Packers to the Jets like Brett Favre? You know what I mean? It's just like, stay there.
He's on the Favre path though so far. He's doing the same thing. The will he or won't he? The Packers kind of have to tiptoe around it. They don't want to upset him. But then maybe he does a little U-turn and goes right back home to Green Bay. Mike Jones, you always got a home here, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.